In this video, we are going to look at how to coax Photoshop's brand new sky replacement feature to work on the reflection without you doing any selections, all right? So I've done an advanced sky replacement video. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to point you to that if you want to learn everything about every setting inside of that dialog box. But even in that video, when it comes to the reflection, I had to make a manual selection afterwards. And as someone very kindly pointed out in the comments, there's an easier way and it works really good. So here's what we're going to do. Let's go. I'm going to just jump to a simple photo for a second and then we'll move to something a little more complex. I thought this was a very simple sky replacement. You know, the foreground's very easy, not hard to make a manual selection if we had to, but check this out. So I'm going to duplicate the background layer here, press Command or Control J, and then I'm going to go to the edit menu. I'm going to go down to transform and I'm going to go to flip vertical. All right. So what that's going to do is it's going to take the image and just flip it upside down. So now the sky in the reflection is up at the top of the photo. So there's got to be something going on here, because now when I go to the edit menu and I go down to sky replacement and I go inside here, you're going to see when I choose a sky, look at that. So it's crazy. It works like right out of the gate. I don't have to, no manual selections required from me in this one. Photoshop has to be doing something. We know that there's a lot of AI in Photoshop. There's been a lot of AI in Photoshop for years, but we know that that's coming to the surface even more. So it's got to be doing something where it's looking toward the top of the image, which is why it's not picking up on the bottom of the image. Now, this is version 1. I expect to see Adobe address this in future updates. So depending on when you watch this, you may not even need this little trick to get it to work on the sky. All right, let's take a look at something a little bit more complex, because I thought that with the rocks and everything in the foreground here, it would definitely have a little bit more trouble in selecting this as a sky. Really quick. If you haven't seen yet, I'll make sure I put a link in the description. I've got a free sky sample pack, so you can swing over to the website and grab that sample pack, totally free. And then I do have a full sky replacement pack if you're interested in finding out a little bit more. Okay, again, links are in the description on that one. All right, so as I mentioned, I thought this one would maybe not work as well. So I duplicated the layer, and then we'll go up here to edit. We'll go down to transform and we'll go to flip vertical. So now that puts that area up at the top. And I thought with the rocks, like if there is AI going on in here, like, there's no way it's going to think rocks at the top of the image are good. But go to edit, go to sky replacement, and you will be very surprised at just how well it did in this one. It did a great job. So I don't know that I would use that sky. I think the sky is pretty decent in the photo to begin with, but I thought this was a harder image to work with, so wanted to see how it would do. But maybe we go with something along these lines, and I'll click OK. Now, there is a little bit of a trick to this, okay, to getting this to work. When you click OK and you tell Photoshop you want it to create all of these layers, and again, there's an advanced video that I dive all into the settings there. The trick is, these layers are not linked up with their layer masks. And so you've got to go in here and do a little bit of work to get this to be able to transform back the way that you need it. And you've got to turn on the link between these layer masks because that keeps the layer and the layer mask so that they both move together. Okay, and we need that to happen. The other thing that I would suggest is I'm going to click on that sky replacement group. I'm going to shift click on the layer right below it, which is the flipped version of the photo. And I'm just going to press Command or Control G for group. And that's going to group these together. Now, what's going to be nice and simple about this is I can go to edit, I can go down to transform, and I can flip it vertical. And then it'll put everything back down at the bottom. Now, depending on the sky you use, this didn't happen to me on this image, but depending on the sky you use and how Photoshop is flipping and adjusting things, you might need to move things. So I actually had to reduce the opacity of this top group, and I actually had to nudge it down a little bit. All right, and reducing the opacity of the group just allows me to see what's a little bit, what's going on below it, so that I can use my move tool to move these up and down. Again, I didn't have to do this on every photo, but because of the way that Photoshop is selecting the sky in this one, I did. So let's hide that. Let's go click on the bottom layer, which was our original sky, and we go edit, we go sky replacement, And I'll just leave it at the same sky. Obviously, you would want to do that. I'm not going to mess up with any other settings there. I'll just click OK. And so now we've got the bottom layer with that group. We've got the top group, which, if you recall, has a copy of the layer. So all we need to do now is just do a little bit of masking because we're not seeing that original sky because that flipped version is covering it. So we can add a layer mask to that top group. We can press B for our brush tool. However you want to work on the layer mask, it can be with a brush, it can be with a gradient, whatever. You just paint with black and you paint away the part of the top layer that you don't want to reveal the bottom layer. And now we have our sky replacement on the reflection. And it takes a few minutes to explain, but when you do it, it's actually very, very simple. And you can see here, guys, it's selected the little rocks and stones in the water. It got everything inside of here. You might need to adjust the mask, maybe reduce the opacity of that group a little bit because it is the reflection, and the reflection would never typically be as brilliant as the foreground. So let me leave you with a couple of final examples here to do something totally different with this. And the only purpose I'm showing you this for is to have fun. Okay, if you're purely photographic, stop watching. But to have a little fun and take this tool in a way that it wasn't meant to be. So think about it this way. Photoshop will kick it back to you if it doesn't detect a sky in the photo. So in this case, it's detecting this very simple backdrop. If you were to photograph someone on a simple background, it's detecting this as a gray sky. So when we go to edit and we go down here to sky replacement, you can actually do background replacement given the right photo. And that's the key to all this. So maybe I put an overcast sky or something behind her because, again, just to fool Photoshop into doing something with this, number one, the original photo has to look like it's got a sky behind it. Number two, when you come down here and click this little plus icon down there to import your own JPEGs or TIFFs or whatever, it's got to think that has a sky in it too. If it's just a regular photo that has no sky, it's not going to work. But you can have a little bit of fun with it. It's done a full background replacement for us. It gives us the lighting and color adjustments. So there's just an example. Here's another one. So again, there is sky in this. It's not your typical sky replacement photo, but those of you that follow me know I love to do texture blending and different things like that. So I've imported a couple of textures in here as skies. And again, just having a little bit of fun with it. If you're, it's not purely photographic, just having a little bit of fun, letting Photoshop do some of the work for you here. The only reason these textures work is because they're cloud-like. So I did fool Photoshop into thinking they were skies, although some of the ones I tried to import actually didn't work. So just keep in mind, number one, Photoshop has to detect a sky in the original photo. Number two, it's got to detect a sky in anything that you're going to come in here and click that little plus icon to import. It's got to detect a sky in there as well. So go ahead and cancel out of there. Overall thoughts on all of this stuff, I would say on a simple sky replacement image like this, I have an 80 to 90% hit rate, and Photoshop doing a great job. On the reflections, which you saw earlier, that hit rate falls to 60, 70%. Photoshop seems, even when we do the flip, it seems to have a little bit of a harder time in those reflections, but with a little bit of manipulation and a little bit of creativity, I think there's still, plenty of things that we can get done here. As I mentioned earlier, swing by the website. The links are in the description. I've got a free sample sky pack for you. It's got 5 of some of my favorite skies if you want to check those out. And it also will give you a link into a full sky replacement package in case you're interested in checking those out as well.